If you're serious about advertising on TikTok, there's really one big question you need to ask yourself. How in the world do you scale up with multiple ad accounts without getting your entire operation shut down? Well, today we're going to break down the exact strategy to do it and do it safely.
So, let's just get right to the point. Are you currently running more than one TikTok ad account? Maybe you're an agency, you're juggling clients, or hey, maybe you're just scaling a product and you know you need backup accounts.
If you answered yes, and you're not taking some very, very specific precautions, you need to know that you are playing an incredibly dangerous game. Seriously, one that could wipe out everything you've built literally overnight.
And that brings us right to our first section, what I like to call TikTok's multi-account trap. We have to understand why your ad accounts are basically living on a knife's edge. And it's all thanks to TikTok's super aggressive anti-fraud system.
You know, the key to survival here is a special kind of tool called a TikTok ads browser. Now, don't think of this as just a normal browser like Chrome. Think of it as a tool built for one purpose, and one purpose only, to make each of your ad accounts look like it's being run by a totally different person, on a different computer, somewhere else in the world. It's basically your digital shield.
So, how does TikTok even catch you? Well, I want you to think of their system as a digital detective. It's on the case 24/7, constantly looking for clues that connect your different accounts together.
Every single thing you do online, every click, every login, every scroll, it all leaves a digital trail. And this detective, it's an absolute expert at finding those trails and linking them together. If it finds even one tiny shred of shared evidence between your accounts, well, the game is up. And here's exactly how that detective finds you. See, using a regular browser like Chrome is like leaving your DNA all over a crime scene. Your browser fingerprint, your IP address, your cookies, even your computer's hardware details, they are all identical for every single account. But an anti-detect browser, that acts like a master of disguise. It gives each account its own unique fingerprint, its own IP, its own hardware profile, making them all look completely separate. So what happens when that detective does find a link? Well, that's when the dominoes fall. And believe me, the cost of getting caught is absolutely catastrophic. It all starts with just one. One single banned account doesn't just go away quietly. No, it triggers this massive, unstoppable chain reaction that can bring your entire advertising business to a grinding halt. The devastation is swift, and it is brutal. When one account gets flagged, all of your linked accounts get banned, usually at the exact same time. Any new accounts you try to create from that point on are flagged before you even launch a campaign. You lose your ad spend, you lose your creative, and trying to appeal this kind of violation, it almost never works. Your business just stops, dead in the water. So how do we fight back? We practice what's called the art of isolation. This is your core strategy. This is how you stay completely invisible to TikTok's detective. You've basically got three main options. On the far left, you've got the risky stuff, using Chrome profiles with a VPN. Spoiler, it doesn't really work. In the middle, you have virtual machines. They can work, but wow, are they resource heavy? And then on the right, you have the safe, scalable solution, cloud browsers. These are designed specifically for this exact task. Let's really break these down. Chrome profiles, they completely fail on the most important feature, fingerprint isolation. That's a non-starter. Virtual machines do work, but they will slow your computer to a crawl, and you can really only run a few at a time. The cloud browser, on the other hand, gives you that perfect isolation with super low resource use and really no practical limit on how many accounts you can run. For anyone serious about this, it's the only real choice. And getting started is surprisingly simple. First, you create a separate profile inside the cloud browser for each one of your TikTok accounts. Step 2, you assign a unique, clean proxy to that profile. Step 3, you just double-check that the digital fingerprint is unique. And then Step 4, you log in. The browser saves that entire session, so every time you come back, it's like you're logging in from that same unique, safe device.
Okay, so having the right tool is maybe half the battle. But you also have to play by the rules. So let's cover the best practices that are going to ensure your long-term success on the platform.
This quote from the source material is just so crucial. The biggest mistake people make? Rushing account creation and immediately scaling to high spend. Patience isn't just a virtue here, it's a flat-out requirement for survival. You have to earn TikTok's trust. And this is how you do it. For the first few days, you just use the account like a totally normal person would. Watch some videos, follow some pages.
Then after that, you can set up the ad account and add your payment method. And only after about a week do you launch a tiny campaign. From there, you just slowly, gradually increase the spend. This mimics natural user behavior, and it keeps you off the radar.
Your proxy choice is also mission critical. Data center proxies are an instant red flag. Just avoid them completely. Shared residential proxies are okay for some testing, but for your valuable accounts, you really need a dedicated residential or an ISP/mobile proxy. Why? Because these look like real home internet connections, which is exactly what TikTok's system expects to see. And finally, you need perfect geographic consistency. I'm talking perfect. If your ad account is for the US, your proxy must be in the US. Your browser's time zone and language settings have to match that location too. And you absolutely must use that same proxy every single time you log in. Any little inconsistency is just another clue for that digital detective. So, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Every single account must have its own completely separate, isolated, and consistent environment right from day one. You can't cut corners on this, not even once. So let's end on this critical thought. As a TikTok advertiser, your biggest threat isn't a bad campaign that doesn't convert. It's that single tiny point of failure in your setup that could link all of your accounts together and bring your whole business crashing down. So I want you to ask yourself, honestly, how isolated are your accounts really?